Hey everybody, Chris Pleganpole with your Mr. Weenie update of the day. Remember, we want a communication strategy that reaches to the heart of the person to restore a relationship, not break it down. And what we're going to go over today is a simple word called extrapolation. All right? Extrapolation could be simply defined as the way things are right now, the worst awful circumstance, it's never going to change. It will never get better. All right? In other words, if you were to kind of take a snapshot of your life and it's been going down and down and down, it's just going to get worse and worse and worse and worse over time. There really is no hope. And so if you feel like this, because what you're saying is Chris, this too will never pass. This is a point of life I've reached a point of depression, sadness, hurt, anxiety, where I don't think my marriage, my relationship will ever get any better. I'm hopeless. And it's simply not true. Here's what I mean by that. People change. There was a time when it was okay, right? There was a time when things weren't at a normative level where your emotional ups and downs weren't always on a roller coaster. And so what happens is when we get to this mindset as it's never, ever going to work, then it becomes another self-fulfilling prophecy so that every conversation you kind of have that no face on. You guys know what I'm talking about, a no face? It's where you're walking into this conversation ready to fight, ready to battle, kind of putting off a negative energy because you're like, I already know how this is going to go. You ain't never going to change. And so why should I even come here open to listen to anything you have to say? And when you're going to be defeated right ahead of time. Now listen, if I've learned anything from being a pastor, is that people change, that the Holy Spirit has the ability to work on people. And so if we go in the mindset that God can change it, God can where people can't. God can where people can't. And if we can get that in our head, that in our heart, we're going to find that our relationship has a shot at starting to work. And understanding that the way you're feeling with extrapolating the fight that we had yesterday, it's always going to be like this. Listen, everybody does that. So many people come into my office and say, it's like this. He's never going to change. The porn addiction's never going to go away. The way that he talks to me, the way he treats me, the way that she is lazy, or the way that she doesn't work around me, or the way that he won't go get a job, that will never, ever, ever change. And the reality is, it won't ever get better if you don't have it in your head and your heart that this person could change. And what you're doing is you're limiting God. And what happens when you limit God, when you play God, it becomes really hard to live with you. Did you know that? You become very difficult to live with when you're extrapolating the current circumstance that's never going to change because you become fatalistic. So here's what I need you to see. That the extrapolations that you're projecting on your spouse or on your partner, the reality is it simply isn't true. They can change because God can change them. So let's get our mind recalibrated, reset, and re-engage with our spouse.